Good evening, everyone. I'm Tony, the Defective Detective. And tonight we are investigating Call of Cthulhu. This game is based on the tabletop RPG from Chaosium Incorporated, Call of Cthulhu, which is a phenomenal tabletop RPG. I highly suggest it. And I've really wanted to fully experience a kind of Cthulhu type game, and this has been on my list for a while, and tonight we finally get to delve into this perhaps terrifying experience. I read the short story by H.P. Lovecraft, and it captured my imagination in such a way that I didn't deem possible at the time. Just turn down the music for a bit. So let's investigate. Chapter 1. Pierce Investigations Agency, Boston. Boston, 1924. Edward Pierce, veteran of the First World War, drowns his memories in liquor and sleeping pills. He is now a private detective who has trouble finding a case to lift him from his torpor. Pierce must find a new case quickly, or risk losing his license. Well, that's just unfortunate, isn't it? Enter madness. If I am mad, it is mercy. May the gods pity the man who in his callousness can remain sane to the hideous end. H.P. Lovecraft. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay. Okay. Not pulling punches, are we? Holy shit. Okay. 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 Let me just... Oh. Let me just... Okay. It's... Okay. Cool. Shit. Ha. Cool.
In my wake, pulled along, fate inescapably draws you on.
I'm sorry? Uh-huh.
What a putrid offering.
Okay. Whatever I have done to, anger you, Great Cthulhu, I'm...
Fight. You have been chosen.
Chosen for what? I don't understand. Is there anything in there? No.
Behold,
Behold what?
everything has already been written. But perhaps you will attempt to change your destiny.
Okay.
I hate whiskey.
Hate whiskey? I was just about to fucking...
Married woman runs off with her girlfriend. The husband couldn't understand it. A good old story of blackmail in a speakeasy. Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology. Been a while since I jotted down something other than my nightmares.
The doctor can well repeat to me that I no longer need my remedy to keep my memories at bay. But if I know that if I stop, the memories will return. One of these mornings, I probably won't wake up. Despite the treatment, I can hear voices in my dreams. But they are different, unknown. They seem to surface from unfathomable and ancient depths. What nameless creature is calling me? Ooh. Mental trauma. Edward Pierce is a veteran of the First World War, where he took part in the Meuse-Argonne offensive. He is one of the few survivors of the Lost Battalion. American units had suffered heavy losses from the enemy. If you want to pause the video in order to read this, you can. Ten, 7, 18. Holy shit. Cool. This will affect your destiny. Ah, shit.
I'm listening.
Are you Edward Pierce, private investigator contracted by the Wentworth Detective Agency?
That's correct.
Hello, Mr. Pierce. I'm Lucy Sherifield, in charge of investigators over at Wentworth. I'm calling because of a problem with your file. A fire has destroyed some of our documents.
Is that right?
I'm so very sorry, but I have to collect your personal information yet again.
I'll roll with that.
Thank you for this information, Mr. Pierce. Our files will soon be up to date. And on a related matter, may I raise a sensitive question?
What's wrong?
As you know, we wish to closely monitor the progress of our contractors. And it would seem you've been accepting fewer new cases.
Work is scarce.
Mr. Pierce, you know as well as I do, there's never been more investigative work than now.
But are those cases worth it?
They're worth not losing your license. Show yourself worthy of the Wentworth Detective Agency, and we might keep you on the payroll. Mr. Pierce, are you still...
I'm coming.
Sir, I came here on the advice of a person whom I hold in high esteem, and I must say that I expected anything but a drunkard's lair.
You're free to leave anytime, sir.
Do you know to whom you speak?
Stephen Webster, industrialist and art collector. All of Boston knows you.
Tell me, Mr. Pierce, are you capable of handling a new case, or are you simply a deadbeat inebriate?
If you come to me, it means you're desperate.
Nobody believes me. They take me for an old fool. Sarah, my little girl, she is dead. Even you must know of her. She was Sarah Hawkins.
The painter? Yes. Everyone knows her work.
The police accuse her of killing her family. They all died in a fire. Sarah, her husband, and Simon, my grandson.
I can't do anything for a woman who is already dead.
Find out the truth. They say she was mad, but I know that's a lie. She would never have done such a thing.
But if you have no proof...
I've brought all that I have. Look. I want you to look carefully at this painting. Tell me all the assumptions that come to mind.
What am I supposed to find?
Tell me if this is the work of madness. Or if, on the contrary, you manage to detect some logic, a rationality to follow so that I may understand it.
Is that all you want from me?
Yes, please.
All right. I'll look at your picture. That's all you've got? The painting?
I placed a file on your desk. It contains everything I have on the affair.
Examine the painting, examine the Hawkins file. Okay. A strange picture painted by Sarah Hawkins a short while before her tragic death was sent to her father just after the artist died. He is convinced that she is the sender. He brought me the painting so I could examine it. Stephen Webster, the wealthy industrialist, came into my office. He wants me to reopen the Sarah Hawkins case, named after his daughter, who died in a fire alongside her entire family. I must examine the documents he compiled in order to know more about the case. Okay. Good lord.
What's this symbol on the man's chest? It's as if Sarah Hawkins breathed a message into it. A warehouse on Darkwater. Some sketches of the Hawkins family. Rather thin.
So, Mr. Pierce, what do you make of these elements?
Darkwater. Never heard of the place. Where is that?
It's a small, remote island off the coast of Boston. Sarah lived there with her son and her husband.
I suppose you want to ship me off there.
Darkwater holds the secret regarding my daughter, Mr. Pierce. You must uncover it.
Her husband was a big deal on the island. But the police are sticking to the accident theory. Though they mentioned Sarah's mental state was fragile. I believe you are right, sir. This case is not as simple as it appears.
I am aware of that. I believe there is more to this case than just an accident.
The meaning could be exactly as it appears. I think your daughter is sending you a message.
That's what I believe, too. It was 3 months ago that I received the call from the police telling me of my daughter's death. And yet a short while after, this painting was delivered to my home. The painting is linked to this case, can't you see? You must find the meaning behind all this.
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwater. Find Warehouse 36.
You must tell me if what the police suggest about the mental state of your daughter is true.
No. Sarah had visions. Everyone knew that. She never would have hurt a fly. She only thought she saw things.
Saw things? What do you mean by that?
I never knew what she meant by that. My daughter was an enigmatic figure, Mr. Pierce. You must find out the truth about her life and death.
Okay.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
I'm willing to do anything for my daughter to recover her honor.
Quiet down. I'm on your side. Let's sum things up. An artist dies with her family in a house fire. Your only clue is a sort of promontory painting sent from Darkwater right before her death.
Correct. And the rumors about her supposed folly.
Which you don't totally deny.
Find that warehouse. Find out the truth regarding Sarah Hawkins' death. You'll be handsomely compensated.
All right. I'll take the case. I'll go to Darkwater and look into the death of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I didn't expect any less coming from a man in your situation.
Something's queer. But it's not like I have a choice. Darkwater. I think I've got a book on the North Atlantic. I'll no doubt find some information on this island in the...
He's a businessman. 41 years old, ship owner. It was 11.
I used to be an avid reader.
Okay.
The Wentworth Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases. Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology. Darkwater is off the coast of Boston. But I've never heard of it. According to this book, it was often mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the 19th century. But it seems to have been shunned since then.
I wonder why.
All I have to do is go to the port. I just hope that I can find a boat able to take me to Darkwater.
Achievement unlocked. The Sarah Hawkins case. Chapter 2. Darkwater Port. Pierce took the Hawkins case. The cursed artist is accused of having caused the fire that killed her and her family. As the only clue, she left her father a disturbing painting. On the shipment label, an address. A warehouse set on the docks of the island of Darkwater. The place seems to be the starting point for Pierce's investigation. Okay, let's enter this madness. A few critiques I have about this game so far is that it's definitely a little rough around the edges in terms of the graphic fidelity. I'm running this on max settings, and it's still a little rough. And it's sitting around 58 to 60 frames per second. But I'm intrigued. I want to see where this goes. And me taking a swig of that whiskey definitely has me spooked.
We're almost there.
Based upon that ring on Pierce's finger would suggest that he's married. Call of Cthulhu. Ship named Scylla. Oof. That's a whaling boat. Based on the harpoons and the hooks. I would definitely wager a guess as to say that's a whaling boat.
Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload. Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
Why, thank you, Captain Fitzroy.
So, what wind brought you?
Does the Hawkins case mean anything to you?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget. Charles Hawkins may have been a landlubber, but he was a good man.
And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
A nice young woman, and a great painter. What a tragedy. You know what? Go have a drink at the Stranded Whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you. As for me, you'll find me at the Harbor Master's office. If it's the Hawkins family that brings you here, I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood. I'm going for a look around the docks.
Go to the bar, talk to Bradley, talk to Fitzroy. Grab that spot hidden. Okay.
Hey, Sullivan. Can't you go any faster?
You see how old this thing is. If we force it too much, we'll break everything.
You can't do that.
But it's only a fit.
The blood is just beginning to coagulate. It died a short time ago. Only a specialist would know what killed it.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters! You're crazy!
They're cops. They can't understand.
The same goes for you, sir. Move along.
Ooh.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important. I can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into those games, me. Now, please, allow me to do my job.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters! You're crazy!
They're cops. They can't understand.
Damn stupid idiots!
Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh, yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble.
So
You can't understand.
That's
You're
an
not
orca.
sailors.
what
It's a
just
sign.
what just
There's
does
something
this to an
coming.
orca?
Something real bad.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters! You're crazy!
They're cops. They can't understand.
Okay. So they're just gonna repeat that dialogue. Okay. Ah,
You
shit.
stupid or what? Even your captain told
There's
you
nothing
not to
for
stick
you
your
here
noses
either.
around here again.
Beat it.
This isn't your home, you bunch of sand crabs.
Uh
We go
huh.
where we want. Hey, go get us some trouble.
Prohibition is just a joke around here. That suits me fine.
Fuck you too, buddy.
Hey, be careful.
And who are you?
Let's get him another drink. He's dry.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
Pure instinct. I behaved like a Hun, and I sincerely apologize.
Veteran, huh?
307th Infantry Regiment.
Well, that'll be okay for now. But the war is over. Try not to forget it.
I'm here for information, not for a fight.
I prefer it that way. Speak then. I reserve the right to answer or not.
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Her vision. Was it so terrible?
Way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Tortured?
Yeah, well, it wasn't normal. I mean, for a young woman with a child and all that. We saw them in the papers and we said to ourselves, who can paint such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable.
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your own mind.
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
Do you know where this place is? Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
The Hawkins warehouse. I see, yeah. If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors. Sailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night. Screams, that sort of thing.
Screams.
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it. But I'll say no more. Anything else?
The stranded whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
What can I tell you? I'm a nostalgic sort of guy. The name, it reminds us of the golden age of dockwater, when our whalers left for long months and came back sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of the whales they'd been hunting.
It was a tough time, all the same.
Ah, but steeped in glory. We've never known such wealth since then.
That'll be all for now.
Do you like our song?
We're true sirens.
We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got.
That's true. It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the miraculous catch.
It's a local legend?
Watch what you say, young man.
That catch saved our island.
Ah. Where's the proof?
We're the proof.
Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847.
It's true. Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report.
What report?
The one that's framed right behind you. Our grandparents tasted its flesh.
And it was delicious.
What brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course.
They all disappeared.
You exhausted the stocks.
You could say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them.
Until the last, the biggest.
The one of the miraculous catch.
Exactly.
I bid you farewell, gentlemen.
Good night, stranger.
So long.
If I had the wings of the girly voice, I would play the
The miraculous catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations, gifted with its own consciousness, until it finds a new reader.
Okay, dude.
What you looking at, stranger?
I've rarely seen a woman who can hold her liquor so confidently.
What gives you the right to judge me?
Ah, it was a compliment.
So what? Let me drink, stranger.
Oops.
I told you to beat it.
Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker. And a debtor. Interesting.
It's probably nothing.
The Scylla. It finished up beached at the entrance to the harbor. A souvenir from a more prosperous era. I guess this blackboard hasn't been wiped for more than 70 years. This man and Fitzroy could be twins. What a macabre souvenir.
Maybe it's his grandfather, great-grandfather or something.
I've brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you. But in truth, you're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
These manifests are signed by Charles Hawkins. But that's all I'll get from them. Broken. This place seems half abandoned. I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman cat.
From here, I see everything that goes on in the harbor. The hard-working lives of my sailors, the fights at the stranded whale. Even the antics of these wharf rats don't escape me.
It's you who lays down the law around here.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'm just the last serving captain on Darkwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got no idea who did it or why. I don't remember having countersigned anything special enough for someone to hide it.
And why obliterate the dates, as well as the goods stored in the warehouse?
You mean that the dates have some meaning?
I'm surprised Charles Hawkins had goods to store, knowing that whaling stopped in 1847.
I see that you're interested in the history of our island. Indeed, maritime activities ceased altogether at the end of the last century. I imagine that the Hawkins family had other types of contracts.
But you don't know with whom?
No, it was none of my business.
I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
Understood.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
It belonged to the Hawkins family.
Precisely. Ship owners from father to son.
I think that somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse. I'm just back from the wharves. The dead killer whale is unsettling the sailors.
Ah, yes. Us men of the sea are superstitious folk.
Killer whales don't have many known predators.
That's true. And normally, they're not found around here. But, you're gonna take me for a fool.
Give it a try.
Have you heard about the depths? Trenches that plunge into the earth and that shelter creatures unlike any other.
You're talking about mythology.
Ha! Indeed, you're right.
The police took the decision to put the killer whale back into the sea.
You've got to understand them. They didn't know what to do with it.
I think that was a mistake. Who says that whatever caused those wounds is no longer in these waters?
You think we should have kept it?
To look into the real cause of its death, at least. I was looking at your photograph. The one of the man in front of the boat.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you, but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Your father?
John Fitzroy, captain of the Scylla. His wooden leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
The miraculous catch. Is it a local legend?
Not at all. It's an episode from our glorious past. Go read the story of the sailor's return to Darkwater Harbor. It's displayed on a wall of the Stranded Whale.
I found a threatening letter, signed by a certain cat.
What? I don't mind you visiting my harbor master's office, but I'd prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
Are you being blackmailed?
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
I shall be on my way.
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Where do you think you're going?
Who are these others so interested in the warehouse?
And why would I tell you?
What's the difference between a police officer and a private detective?
The badge?
Exactly. Apart from that piece of metal, there's nothing that sets us apart.
You think so?
We're looking for the same thing, you and I.
Okay. Spare me the next verse. I'll tell you what I know. There are sailors who think that there's a beast prowling around the docks. And then again, these guys panic at the thought of bringing a rabbit onto a boat, so...
I see.
And there are others who would like to use the warehouses for their goods.
Who are they?
Sorry, I really can't talk about them. Where do you think you're going?
I'm not here to hinder your work, officer. Edward Pierce, private detective.
Sorry, we're all a little on edge today. What are you doing here?
I'm investigating the death of the Hawkins family.
Darn it. Why do you want to drag up all that stuff again?
My investigation has led me to this warehouse.
That case was closed months ago.
What more can you say about the death of the Hawkins family?
Not much more than what everyone knows. I wasn't on the case. They were all burnt to death, right? Up at their place.
The whole mansion went up in flames.
Don't get it into your head to go wandering around up there. It's dangerous.
What do you mean by that?
The only one left there is old Silas, and the accident has affected him badly. He can be unpredictable, especially if a stranger starts poking around the property.
Is he a danger to the public?
No, he's in his own home. Do yourself a favor. Leave him well alone. You again. I told you to beat it.
No need to get worked up. You live here?
Why did you do that, huh?
We saw what you did to St. Brendan.
Yeah, we'll teach you to come onto our island and ridicule our protectors.
I've never heard of this saint. Is it a local belief?
But everyone knows St. Brendan, the Navigator.
He's the patron saint of whales and whalers.
What happened to the statue?
Go see for yourself. He's at the end of the jetty.
There's you, our beloved statue, and then those two bozos behind us. Wait, now that I think about it, it's got to be them. There's one of them who's always going back and forth to the statue.
Quieter. That's all we need for them to hear us.
What brings you to dark water?
The two guys behind you. What are they guarding?
The bootleggers. Scum.
They're protecting their territory. From whom, I wonder?
They really don't have a choice anyway. They're more scared of Cat than an attack by drunken sailors.
If only they would kill each other.
Is it Cat who's shaking down Captain Fitzroy?
Hold on just a minute. We didn't tell you a thing.
Nothing at all.
I've taken enough of your time.
We'll see you later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get us into trouble.
What could have done so much damage?
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming.
You could tell me. No, if it gets out, I'll have serious problems with you-know-who.
I bet that you hid them somewhere. How could you be dumb enough to leave the entrance to the warehouses unguarded?
Keep your voice down. Why not go and shout at the cat while you're at it? I don't want to end up with her little knife under my throat.
It's a stiletto, you idiot. And with that smell on your breath, I don't give you much chance anyway. Get it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's no way to treat it.
We're no longer at home on our own island.
Calm down. It's not worth the effort.
I told him, that flunky, that he'll see what a real sailor has in his belly.
If you continue like that, everyone will see what you've got in your belly.
I hope so. I hope they don't forget the lesson. Me? I'm not scared of some girl.
I mean they're going to cut you open, you idiot. Calm down.
They all seem really terrified of her.
It looks like there's a way in under this grate. I could use this old winch to lift the grating, but it's been completely taken to bits. There must be some spare parts amid all this clutter. A ratchet device. Exactly what I need. A whale vertebra. If the newspaper clipping in the bar is true, this bone is a real fossil. This handle will be perfect for the winch. It should be possible to mount this cogwheel on the winch.
Oops, wrong button.
Looks like everything is in its place. All I have to do is turn this handle. Ugh. Smoke. It's coming from this oil. I hope it's not toxic.
Okay. No. Okay. Excuse me? What? Off of me. Okay.
This is primitive. Oh, this place stinks. What is the connection between this place and the Sarah Hawkins case?
Reconstruction, okay.
Someone treasures this crumpled picture to the point of sleeping with it. What happened here? Who has enough money to buy painkillers, but stays in a place like this? It smells as bad as it looks.
It's fucking nasty.
Is this one of Sarah Hawkins' paintings? Can't sleep. I know how that feels.
Someone has settled in here.
And whoever it is has something to tell me about the Hawkins case. Is there anyone in there? You! Don't move! Detective Pierce. I told you to stay away from this warehouse.
It's clear that you knew the victims. I'm sorry to dig up bad memories.
I can still see the poor child lying burned on the floor of their drawing room. We had to tear him off. The marks must still be there. They're in my mind anyway.
It's horrendous. I'm going to need your experience to bring him justice, Officer Bradley. Can you explain what this painting is doing here?
This strange portrait. Wait, I know it. It was in the Hawkins mansion when we came to investigate the fire.
So you confirm that it was removed from the crime scene? Interesting. I'd like to go and see the mansion now.
Of course. You want to go back along his trail? I'd like to understand how this painting made it to here. Come on. My car's parked down the way. Andrews, would you please shut the door? And open your eyes, damn it. This guy went right under your nose. God damn it. Her again. This case has nothing to do with you, Baker. Clear the passage or I'll shut you up for obstruction.
Officer Bradley, you've finally grown a pair. Too bad you're too fat to see them down there.
Why, you?
Come on, keep the smile. You don't want to force me to widen it.
Okay, I get it. Can we go to the mansion now?
Who the hell are you? What were you doing on my turf? I've got my eye on you. We'll meet again.
Is it far, this mansion?
Look behind you, at the top of the ridge. You see the building? That's the Hawkins mansion. Come on, we got some driving to do.
Jeez. Okay. Chapter 3. Garden of the Hawkins Mansion. Pierce managed to get into the warehouse. The place, thought to be abandoned, revealed some surprises. Signs of recent occupation as well as partly charred painting. Interrupted in his searching by Officer Bradley, Pierce convinced him to join his investigation. The police officer is willing to drive the detective to the Hawkins mansion.
Well, here we are. Hawkins Mansion. The place has been abandoned since the fire. There's only old Winchester in his hut.
Your partner, Andrews, warned me against him.
You managed to get something out of that bum? I'll end up asking you for advice.
He talks too much. He inferred that old Silas was slightly unhinged.
That's not far off the mark, I suppose. But kinda unfair at the same time. You know, Silas Winchester has been working for the Hawkins family as far back as I can remember. Charles was like a son to him. The day of the fire, he lost his whole family. So he's got nowhere to go. And, as you'll see, in a way, he's still watching over them. Is there anything else you want to ask me? Or do you want to go up there?
You're the one who looked after the Hawkins case.
Don't think I was trying to hide it. It's just that this discovery shakes my convictions.
That's why you're so keen to find out who removed the painting from the mansion.
Yes. If something escaped us, or if there's been a law enforcement error, then it's up to the police to make good its mistake. Anything else?
I see no scorched trees or fire damage on the building.
You're pretty damn observant, ain't you? The fire was quickly contained. Old Silas acted as soon as he could.
Not soon enough to save the Hawkins.
They were trapped in the drawing room. And don't go troubling Silas anymore. His guilt torments him enough as it is. Are we gonna take a closer look at this mansion, or do you have other questions?
I prefer to be prepared if there's going to be trouble.
It's a wise attitude. But apart from old Silas and some rotten floorboards, there's nothing to worry about.
Could he be a problem?
Strictly speaking, he ain't dangerous. But since the tragedy, he's been a little touched. Though, he's a remarkably sturdy man, given his age. A true force of nature.
A sad old man doesn't worry me.
Gee, if you don't want to listen to my advice, we might as well go. Right?
You won't get me to believe that it looked any better 3 months ago.
It's a very old building, you know? Its foundations would probably date from the arrival of the first settlers.
It's got nothing to do with Charles Hawkins' debts.
Ha! You've already begun to nose around it, would seem. So, since you already know it, the Hawkins family couldn't afford the upkeep of this house. It remains to be seen what they did with all their money. I wager it was Charles Hawkins' travels. Let's go up there. Unless you still have questions.
Night falls quickly here, and I want to be able to see when we arrive.
I'll go with you, if only to reassure Silas.
Why not? You can help.
Right. Let's go.
Recently fallen. It's as if all life has abandoned the place.
How odd. Curious.
The flowers on Sarah Hawkins' grave are fresh. Charles Hawkins' grave. Who could have done this?
I told you. Silas Winchester is still watching over the Hawkins family.
I must say, it's pretty gloomy.
So, Detective, does this place inspire any thoughts?
Why were they buried here?
I was given to believe that it was Charles Hawkins' wish.
Strange idea. I imagine Webster wasn't too pleased.
Mrs. Hawkins' father? It's said that he's devastated.
Let's go to the mansion.
Please give me a minute. I didn't expect to set foot back here after the burial. What kind
Poor
of
kid.
deranged individual would defile this sanctuary? Steal a burned painting? I don't see Silas doing such a thing. Let alone allowing it. Even that broad baker is above that. Lord, have pity on this poor family.
Poor kid.
$13 to $24.
Bradley was right. This place is much older than I imagined. This entrance is still in use.
Whoa!
Whoa!
You were trying to force the door, you nosy prick!
Easy, sir, all right? Put down the axe.
You know what we do with rubble like you? We gut them. Dump them into the ocean.
Whoa! You're Mr. Winchester. Lower that axe. Let's talk calmly.
I'll show you how we have it out on Darkwater.
You haven't forgiven yourself. You stay here to honor the memory of the deceased.
That's true. I want no more violence. No more tragedy.
It's painful to be the last one left.
You don't know how right you are. Understood. I'm listening.
The police report describes a domestic accident, but Stephen Webster has several reasons to believe that this may not be the case.
Webster is as stubborn as an old mule. And I did tell him that we should let the dead rest in peace.
He wants to restore the reputation of his daughter. I just need to see where the fire started.
No, I can't let you in. The mansion isn't safe.
That's why you barricaded the entrance.
That's right.
And this door?
It's locked, and I make sure it stays that way.
No one lives in the mansion, and you don't take care of it anymore. If you have a good reason to be here, I'm listening.
There's vermin. I keep an eye out.
Vermin?
Yeah, that's it. Vermin.
Right. This is what we're going to do. I go inside, and I promise that I'll hunt vermin. Okay with you?
I'm not sure.
If there's nothing else to fear, you can give me that key.
Right. Take the key and do what you have to do. Go on, then. Just to get rid of you.
Let's see what more I can learn from this mansion.
Okay. That must be, old Winchester's hut down there.
This gate is locked. I know a thing or two about solitude myself. Rather Spartan. The caretaker has simple tastes. The poor wretch seems to spend the best part of his time isolated from the world. Bourbon. Empty, of course.
See, I want to get in. No? Okay.
Pierce, shall we enter? Now that you've finished your fun and games with Silas, we can perhaps inspect the mansion.
You're right. Let's go. Let's take a look inside.
I'm with you.
Chapter 3, Hawkins Mansion. Pierce and Officer Bradley explored the gardens of the Hawkins Mansion. The family lies in the graveyard of the property, guarded by Silas Winchester. The old caretaker, still faithful to his employers, keeps watch on the place, armed with his axe. Pierce and Bradley manage to calm him down and finally get a hold of the key to the Hawkins mansion. They enter the building, looking for the scene of the fire.
Follow me. I know the place. Who left this light on?
Spot hidden.
The Last Supper of the Hawkins. What does this tell me? This roast. What strange creature has flesh like this? This place is for the head of the family, Charles Hawkins. The boy was probably here, smashed his plate on the floor. Sarah Hawkins' plate. Why did she leave it untouched? Something happened at this table. An argument?
Is that really it?
Hey, Pierce. Daydreaming again?
Working, officer. This dinner table tells us a lot about the Hawkins family life.
Well, we don't have all day. The scene of the fire is next door. Silas managed to bring the fire under control.
Let's see if I can find something the cops
It's already
missed.
too late for the Hawkins.
The child's corpse left a trace. Where are the others? Was Charles Hawkins a heavy drinker? If the painting I found on the docks really came from here, how come it didn't burn? They had a fight. Why? Did Sarah Hawkins lose one of her shoes? How? Did someone escape the fire? Blood. This lamp was thrown. This was no accident. This was a fight. Someone fell here. A desperate attempt to flee. And the boy.
So, Detective, what do you make of it?
Much of this evidence simply contradicts the investigation's findings.
Really? Tell me about it.
I can tell where young Simon was, but not his parents. Where were their bodies found?
I can't help you on that one. Charles and Sarah's bodies had already been carried away when I got here.
Without your authorization? By whom?
Marshall, Andrews, Chief West. We never deal with cases like that, you know. So... well...
I found a bottle of whiskey. Empty.
Well, that must have been a loss for you.
No glass. I suspect one of them drank heavily to calm down. Charles, most probably.
That's pretty thin. Who says that bottle hadn't been there for a while?
It would seem at least one person fled the crime scene.
What'd you say?
That mark on the door. Someone's hand slid down there. The left side has no mark. The door was open and that someone left.
For God's sake. I mean, if it's Charles or Sarah, they wouldn't have left their son.
They would rather die in the flames as a family instead of calling for help? I don't buy it.
Oh, yeah?
I firmly believe this fire was more than just an accident.
Huh. What's your theory?
I think the Hawkins couple got into a fight.
You sure of that?
There's only one way to be sure.
I need to increase my investigation.
I just ask that you don't disturb anything. If Chief West found out about what we're doing, I'd be in serious trouble.
This door is locked. These bandages are covered in dried blood. But whose? The lyrics of the drunken sailor, a sea shanty. This door is blocked from the outside. An original edition of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, dated 1818. Moby Dick, Melville's classic. The epic battle between man and whale. Mandatory reading for any whaler, I guess. This piano is in disrepair. Looks like the Hawkins kept it more for decoration than for music. What could Sarah have done to make this person threaten to call the police? One of Sarah Hawkins' paintings. Her style sure is recognizable. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Another story about the mysteries of the deep.
Rare edition of Jules Verne novel. Can't go that way.
What do you know about Charles Hawkins' activities?
Well, not much, to be honest. We all assumed the Hawkins lived on Charles's inheritance. If you're right, we should be able to find clues among the Hawkins' personal effects. Did you hear that?
Looks like I have to go this way now. Yeah, unless there was something else on the bottom floor in there.
An original edition of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, dated 1818. crowbar. Could prove useful. What do you know about Charles Hawkins' activities?
Well, not much, to be honest. We all assumed the Hawkins lived on Charles's inheritance.
Okay. Forward into darkness.
Locked.
Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
The boys' room.
What the fuck?
A child's fort. From what threat was Simon protecting his world? Tom Sawyer, Mark Twain. Sarah must have read it to him before bed. Sleeping pills. Strong for an 11-year-old boy. What was wrong with this family? What nightmarish vision could have inspired them? Simon's troubles went beyond family problems. That kid saw something. Something terrified him. Locked. What will her room reveal about her? Barbiturates. Sarah Hawkins must have been extremely agitated resorting to such a treatment. Perfect.
Oh, Charles, what did you do?
This ledger lists all of the paintings Sarah Hawkins sold. It seems the last one was given for free to a Francis Sanders. I wonder why. Locked. Was Sarah Hawkins interested in the occult? What was she trying to achieve? Despite what happened, they seem to have loved each other. Sarah Hawkins' agent was getting worried. Seems she wasn't giving any signs of life. Bradley? Is that you?
Is anyone there?
I am spooked. Oh boy. Heart rate's up. What the fuck?
What the?
You! Stop!
Bradley, did you see which way he went?
Who? I didn't see anyone. I just heard some noise. Are you all right?
A man was hiding on the upper level. He ran when he saw me. He can't be far.
I'll cover you.
This door was closed earlier. Where did he go? It looks like an old Seaway map. They look like Celtic runes. Charles must have brought them back from one of his foreign trips. This globe seems
Do
to
you
have been
really
part
think
of some
the fugitive
mechanism.
came in here? I don't see any way out.
Doesn't work. I must have missed something. Clearly, Charles Hawkins knew Captain Fitzroy very well. I wonder who the man with the glasses is in the photograph. Probably another friend of Hawkins. As if the bookcase has been moved several times. The Scylla. It's the boat that was stranded at the entrance to the harbor. This panel is movable. Cogwheels. They must be linked to an opening mechanism. Probably a secret passage. I must find a way to activate the opening mechanism. With this, I should be able to force the gears.
Well done, Pierce.
Chapter 4: Tunnels Under the Hawkins Mansion. Inside the Hawkins Mansion, the scene of the fire revealed its secrets. Pierce and Officer Bradley, now on the trail of a survivor, had undertaken to search the place looking for proof. When a hooded man leapt into Sarah Hawkins' workshop to steal a painting, detective and police officer set after him. That is not English. It should be the detective and police officer. By following him to the office of Charles Hawkins, they discovered a secret passage. Pierce and Bradley enter the tunnel under the mansion. And this is where
Secret passage under the
we'll
mansion.
end it
It's like a detective.
for tonight. Thank you for joining me on this epic and intriguing adventure this evening. Tune in next time, and we shall continue to investigate this classic occult horror. Until then, this has been Tony, your lead detective. Good night.